What's up, everybody? Welcome back. Hope everybody's having a great day or night whenever you're watching this. I need to talk about the Western Conference playing in the NBA because it's a war zone. It's a bloodbath. It's 5 teams essentially fighting for 3 spots. And all these teams are like good teams, or at least like competitive teams that are like a problem for anybody that they're going to play to a degree, of course. And the 5 teams that are fighting for these 3 spots that are open, and granted the play-in is only 4 teams, but there's the 6th seed is tied with the 7th seed. So it's kind of like, who knows, will be 6, right? So we're going to talk about which teams I think are going to survive the play-in, and I want to talk about their weaknesses in particularly, because these are the things that their respective opponents are going to try and exploit. But we're going to break down the weaknesses. Before I do, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe if you enjoy this kind of content. Please like the video. But we're going to start with the 6th seed Suns, because as of right now, the Suns are the 6th seed. And their biggest weakness is they are garbage in the 4th quarter. And you would think for a team that's got Kevin freaking Durant, Devin Booker, and Bradley Beal, that they would be like a competent offense in the 4th quarter. They're the worst 4th quarter offense in the league, I believe, in terms of points per game. There's no justifying that when you have 3 of the top 25 scorers in the league on your team and they can all create for each other. There's just no great explanation for that when you have that. That's a major problem, because when you go into a play-in game and it's the 4th quarter and it's a 4-point game and you're either up by 4 or down by 4, but your offense stalls, that could very easily cost you your season. And so you go cold at the wrong time, it's over. So that's something that it worries me as somebody who had very high aspirations for the Suns this year, and it's like they seem like they're going to go over the hump and then they just don't do it. They take a step forward and then it's 3 steps back. It's kind of just a mess a little bit. But that 4th quarter offense is their Achilles heel. We got to talk about the New Orleans Pelicans. They are the 7th seed currently, and their biggest issue, as it has been for basically the last 3 years, is health. Brandon Ingram's injured. He just got reevaluated, I think, yesterday, and he still doesn't have a timetable. They don't have like a legit timeline of when he'll be back. They just know that he's out at least the next 2 games, but he is going to ramp up. So maybe he ramps up in time to make it for the play-in, but you don't want a guy that hasn't played in a month to come back and his first game's to play-in where it's balls to the wall and every team is just going full gear and he's a little rusty. Like, that's something that could cost you a game. And it's not like you're in the middle of February and you got time. This is it. So them not being healthy at this moment in time, and for the last 3 years at this point in the season, is just a major Achilles heel. And hopefully Brandon makes it back, because they're one of my teams that I firmly believe in to be a major problem if they're healthy. But that's been the problem, is that they're never healthy. Getting to the 8th seed Sacramento Kings, Malik Monk not being on the active roster because of injury, that destroys so much of what their second unit likes to do. That 6th man of the year off the bench kind of power, that doesn't just get replicated by anybody. Like, it's not possible with the way their team is constructed. And he's the guy that spells Fox and gives you those minutes where Fox is resting, where the offense stays competent. And they've been kind of dwindling the last 10 games or so, 5-5, and he's missed, I think, all of those or close to all of them. Not having Malik Monk is a big deal, because when you have a guy on your bench that can go for 30 in a playoff game, that is super valuable, and you don't have that now. And I think that's a major weakness on this team. Got the 9 seed currently Los Angeles Lakers, and their problem is just Darvin Ham is not a championship level coach. He's just not that guy. Not yet. Maybe at some point in the future, but he hasn't shown me anything this year that would make me believe that he could coach them all the way to a Western Conference Finals, or, make them have a chance. I feel like he does more wrong than good for the team. And if you don't have good coaching, you're not winning in the NBA. And you're not going to win in the most, stressful moments. That's just not going to happen. And the last team in the play-in right now, the Golden State Warriors. They locked up their play-in spot, I believe, last night or the night before, or something like that. And their biggest issue is they just simply do not have a consistent second option. It's any given night, it's somebody else, and that can kind of work through a regular season. But you get to the playoffs, you got to know who your second guy is. It's okay to maybe, any given night on your third option, But the second option's got to be somebody that we know this is the guy that's going to give us 20 and is going to take some load off of Steph. That's just, they don't have that. Like, Kuminga's cool. I love Kuminga. Wiggins is cool. Draymond's not going to provide that scoring punch. Clay is super streaky. Chris Paul is not going to provide that scoring punch. Like, there's no definitive second guy. And when you get into a series like that, if Steph don't have it, you're probably screwed. A series meaning the play-in. And I just think I think this is going to be the play-in tournament where management for the Warriors is like, if we want to maximize Steph, we're going to have to start trading people. Because I don't think they're going to make it out. Spoiler alert, I don't think the Warriors make it out. I don't see them beating 2 of the teams ahead of them, especially when against the 9 teams I think that are ahead of them in the West, they're 9-23. They struggle to beat the teams that are better than them in the West. And I'm not going to bet on them to do it twice. So yeah, that's my opinion on their weaknesses. The Golden State Warriors, they just don't have that legit second option. They struggle against the better teams. The Lakers coaching sucks. We got the Kings with no Malik Monk. That's a big loss. And then there's the Pelicans with injuries just constantly at this time of year. No Brandon Ingram. Who knows when he's going to be back, if he'll be back. And then the Suns, they just are trash in the fourth quarter. That's ultimately going to provide you a hell of a play-in tournament, which is the funny part because they're all like very beatable teams, and they can all beat each other. It's not like we have like a 7 seed that is 9 games better than the 10 seed. I don't think we're seeing that. So ultimately, the 3 teams of the 5 that I think are going to make it, because remember, the 6 seed is tied with 7. I think the Suns will make it out. I think that they ultimately in that play-in game, Kevin Durant will get you out of there. I think that is a good bet. And then second team I think is going to make it, and this is more hoping on a prayer, honestly, the Pelicans. I love what they'd been doing pre-Brandon Ingram injury, and Zion being the #1 guy has looked good in the fourth quarter of the last few games that I've watched. Kind of looks like they're kind of settling in a little bit. I like the Pelicans enough. Hopefully Ingram comes back for that last game or something, gets some burn off. But Pelicans are my second team that I think makes it, and the third team. I'm a homer on this one, but the Lakers. I think when you have LeBron James, Anthony Davis, and D'Angelo Russell playing as well as he has, you should win the play-in. Like, you should make it out. You should survive. But if Darvin Ham is a terrorist and coaches them out of the play-in game, then I think we have a completely different dialogue going into the summer. So, well, this will be interesting. Let me know in the comments if you agree with those 3 teams making it out. Unfortunately, I think the Kings is going to be too much to overcome without Monk. That scoring punch and the load he takes off of other players is a lot bigger than people want to give him credit for. And I just don't trust the Warriors to beat anybody that's been better than them this year for the most part. Just hasn't shown to be something that you would like to bet on. The odds are not in your favor. Let me know in the comments who you got making it out the play-in. Like I said, Suns, Pelicans, Lakers, those are the teams I'm betting on. If they don't make it, one of those other 2 teams does. They're all quality teams. This is not a video to bash the other teams. I'm just pointing out the weaknesses that these teams have going in. And I think all of them having these very big weaknesses makes it a great play-in. But if you're new to the channel, please subscribe if you enjoy this kind of content. Please like the video. Appreciate you guys for watching. Shout out all these teams in the play-in. I think they're all really good. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch. And unfortunately, I'll be on a cruise when it happens, so I won't be able to watch any of it. So, well,